What is going on, everybody? Tanner Pfeiffer here with the NFL Rumors podcast. Tanner Pfeiffer NFL here on Twitter or X, and Pfeiffer Football on Instagram. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. This is episode 7 of the NFL Rumors podcast here on season 2, joined by the great NFL Rumors Twitter account. Thank you so much for joining. I am your host, and he is your co-host on his own podcast show. So today, we're going to be talking about playoff picture. There's a lot of quarterbacks being rested. I know there's a lot of fantasy leagues are finished right now, but there's still some that are in their championship and everything. So how that impacts fantasy with all these quarterbacks being rested and starters and everything. But here we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Tanner. Thank you for asking. Hopefully,
Absolutely.
your new year was great, and we're getting ready to start off a great new year here with the NFL Rumors podcast. Something we got planned for you this year is we're going to be your number one spot for all your off-season news. We're going to bring you that. We're going to keep the podcast going every week to give you all the rumors around the free agents, possible salary cap casualties, the NFL playoffs. We got
Yep. Yep. So I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yep. No, we're bringing it all to you. We're excited. As he was saying, this is the main focus. Is this offseason we're going to be trying to maintain a consistency with all your offseason news, free agency, everything, guys. Draft, probably going to have some interviews with some draft prospects as well. We've already had a couple. We had Lamar Morgan last week, so it was a pleasure to have him. I will be attending the Reese's Senior Bowl as well later this month. Hopefully make some connections there. And wanted to do a quick shout out, guys. This podcast is brought to you today by Expand Sports. Make sure you guys go and follow Expand Sports. Sign up for free on their website. It's basically taking sports to the whole next level. You get exclusive content, see how these athletes train, and see exclusive vlogs. Anything these athletes want to post, they can post to Expand Sports. That's a great platform. You guys need to go check it out. But yeah, off-season news, everything. We're going to be taking care of this off-season, but right now, what is your biggest concern in the NFL?
Well, a lot of it, as you look at it, a lot of like you was talking about, Tanner, a
Yeah,
lot of the quarterbacks are being rested for some of the teams. That
that's
could
for
have
sure.
some big playoff implications. Like Lamar is taken out. He said he was fine for today for being
Yep.
taken out of the game. But you got that game being very meaningful because the Steelers are still there trying to get a playoff berth.
Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of brings me to the whole situation here with Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. We know the situation here is he's been benched, but do we know if that's like? I don't think the Broncos have been technically eliminated, have they, or were they eliminated last week?
They were eliminated last week.
Oh, they were.
Kansas
Okay,
City
yeah,
won.
but before they benched Russell Wilson, they still mathematically had a chance at playoffs, which is insane in my opinion.
Burry,
But
I actually thought about the same thing there this week. Is
yeah,
they have Russell Wilson right there? I think that they could really um, could have used that. What if Kansas City would have lost, right? And that would have been big, right? If Russell Wilson could have still been out there doing his thing, I mean that didn't make
yeah.
a lot of sense to me. That part of it.
No, but I mean, if you look though, Jarrett Stidham basically went identical with what Russell Wilson did the week prior, stat wise. Um, it was just they both passed for like 20 completions of 32 attempts and 242 yards or something like that. It was basically it was almost identical. That's just a whole unfortunate situation there for Russell Wilson. I'm really rooting for the guy. I hope he comes back strong. And I don't know. It's just that's that's just a whole other story. And I saw that they talked about it on the Pat McAfee show, and Aaron Rodgers showed just some respect to Russell Wilson there as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we know Aaron Rodgers has got his own little thing going there with Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Oh,
As
I
far as
saw
the
that,
Pat
dude.
McAfee show as well, with some Epstein comments there that he
Oh
apparently does
God.
not like.
Yeah, that was rough. I was actually meaning to post that, but I saw that like early this morning, I think, or late last night, whenever I saw some tweet from Kimmel himself, and I screenshotted it and everything, and I was gonna have it ready to post and be like, man, this is trending. But oh god, it just doesn't. It's
Yeah,
just
he
the
called him an
whole.
a-hole, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so it was interesting. Like a lot of Aaron Rodgers haters actually loved it, right?
Yeah.
So, but the Jets. So I want to talk about them real quick.
Let's
I mean,
talk about the Jets
I know that this has not been the season that they wanted. The Jets still have one of the top defenses in the league. They
for
got to
sure.
make some changes this offseason with some personnel for sure, but they do have a good foundation to build on with
Yep.
Garrett Wilson. Uh, we got Bryce there, also Sauce Gardner. There's three good players that they can build around, right?
Yeah.
So I think the future can still be good for the Jets. The key is the question will be going into next year. Same thing is, can Aaron Rodgers stay healthy enough to deliver them where they need to go? Uh, that's
It's like after this season, like I've said it multiple times, like even if Aaron Rodgers was healthy this season, I don't think they would have done well. I still don't think they would have done well. I think they would have done better for sure, but I don't think they would have been, positive in wins. Like it's just crazy how poor that offensive line played. It's crazy how bad the offense was just in general overall. I think they found out a lot of the holes that they need to fill. Like it's not just go out and sign the players you used to play with. Like they need to actually fix stuff, and hopefully that's what they focus on. But Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, so like I don't know, man. It's like you got to do it fast. Like he's not going to play forever.
Well, one of the things I want to talk about too, you got a great game this weekend too with the Texans and the Colts. Gardner
Yep.
Minshew could deliver for the Colts, take them to the playoffs. Gardner Minshew, I mean, he's done a lot of good things already this season. C.J.
Mm-hmm.
Stroud is probably going to end up being a 4,000 passing yard rookie passer there, and still has a chance to get the Texans into
And
the
that's
playoffs.
missing 2 games.
Yeah, and he's done really good. And he lost one of his top receivers. Nico Collins has been banged up.
Yep.
Nico Collins has had one of his best seasons under C.J. Stroud. The offense is doing well. Noah Brown's had a good year. Great acquisition that they picked up two guys from Dallas actually, Dalton Schultz and Noah Brown. So
Yeah,
two
Dalton
great
Schultz has been real good
acquisitions
for
there.
him. Honestly, I love what the Texans are doing, and I'm rooting for them. I think they're mad underdogs here, and I really hope they succeed. Um, and I just want to do a quick shout out. Thank you to everyone watching right now. We're live on Twitter, and we have 220 plus people watching right now. So that is incredible. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Make sure you drop a follow to NFL Rumors and myself, Tanner Pfeiffer NFL. Tune in to all of our podcasts. They're all on Spotify, Apple, everything, every single platform, YouTube as well. Make sure you guys tune in. Yeah, so going back to that, what else? What else is you see as an issue?
Yeah. So looking at that game, I mean, the two games on Saturday is huge. The Steelers, big playoff implications we talked about.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph is 2-0.
Yep.
Mason Rudolph has played exceptionally well. George Pickens has had like over 300 yards in the two games Mason Rudolph has played. Then you got the Texans and Colts going against each other. And then we got Sunday night football, the Bills and the Dolphins going for the division. Miami, no matter what's making the playoffs, but they've had a lot of injuries hit them of late. And now if the Buffalo Bills could end up winning that division and get a playoff game in Orchard Park. So
Now, do you think the Dolphins or the Bills are legit a Super Bowl threat
the Bills, I like the
out of
Bills.
those two?
Yeah, I like the Bills. Josh Allen, even though he's had interception problems, has done really, really well. The Bills' defense is actually still being doing very well, and they've been bombarded with the injuries.
Yeah.
Rasul Douglas, as you know him, Tanner, Packer guy. They picked him up in the trade deadline for the Packers. He's done great
Of
there.
course he has.
Yep,
That's what the
top
Packers
five
do,
in
man. They trade
interceptions
away
in the
good
league.
players.
So
My,
there
my
has
thing is it's hard. It was hard for Douglas to succeed in the Joe Barry defensive scheme. So, anyways, that's a whole other can of worms there.
yeah, and one of the other things I'll say is when we're looking at that, Tanner, is Miami. I like their defense, right? They got a really good offense. They got a really good running game. Miami could also make some noise, but the problem is if they don't win this game here, they're going to have to go on the road and play.
And they did just lose the top premier pass rusher Bradley Chubb to a torn ACL.
11 sacks this year. Yep, he's
11 sacks.
yep.
Lost him week 17 to a torn ACL. It's just unfortunate, dude.
And we still have to look at the situation too with their other corner, Xavier Howard, because he
Yeah.
actually had an ankle injury in that game. Right, we'll have to see if he is good to go
Oh,
to
that's
play.
right.
If
I
not,
th-
you're talking about him. They're them getting Eli Apple against Gabe Davis.
and you know Gabe Davis is one of those receivers who can just one every 5 games break out. It's either him or Stephon Diggs. I Gabe Davis is a wonderful wide receiver 2 or 3, on that team. Because who else have they got there? Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. Who's the other guy?
Uh,
I'm blanking right now.
yeah, I am too at the moment.
Shakir.
Yeah, Shakir. There you go.
Shakir, and he's done well too. I think he's got tons of skill, an amazing skill set. So they really have like a 3 punch at wide receiver, and they've kind of quit feeding the ball to James Cook after some huge games. So they need to just get back to that. Keep
Yeah,
Josh Allen just managing the game because he's a great quarterback. He can be. Keep
James
him
Cook.
managing the game just a little bit more, and just rely on your playmakers. That's all you got to do.
Definitely. And James Cook leads the AFC currently in rushing. So, James Cook's been doing outstanding things. Now we're
Yep.
going to talk about Dalvin Cook just real quick. So, Dalvin Cook came to the agreement with the Jets that he was going to be released. Teams will be able to pick him up off waivers, I think, up to 4 o'clock on Thursday.
Yes.
Eh, but two of the teams that we're definitely hearing that could make some noise, I'm going to include three, but the Browns and Ravens are two teams that has made some noise a little today that could possibly look at Dalvin Cook. And another team to watch is the Cowboys. Even Dez Bryant posted that he thinks that the Cowboys should go and sign Dalvin Cook.
What do you think of that?
I think it would help the Cowboys because they've not done a whole lot with their running game. I do know that their running back still has a chance to be 1,000 yard rusher that they franchised.
Tony
But
Pollard.
yeah, it's Tony Pollard, but I don't think he's the running back that I think they thought they was going to have a better year than he did. But Dalvin Cook adding to that team, I think it will be very good. The Browns, when you look at that, they got Kareem Hunt already. I mean, he's their short yardage guy. I mean, they have to ask themselves, is Dalvin Cook going to be a fit? A play for Stefanski in Minnesota. The Ravens are always looking to have running backs. Like,
Always. They
yeah,
have they have running backs drop like flies every single season. It's unfortunate, but I don't think if you ask me, I would not be totally confident in relying on Melvin Gordon as a running back too. Um, who is their
Justice
running
Hill really showed
Justice
something the other
Hill?
day. That's the
Who
questions the Ravens will have. Do I want to stick with Justice Hill and Gus Edwards, or do I want to add Dalvin Cook to the mix?
and Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, like 2 or 3 years ago, were total depth options. Like they were running backs 3 and 4, a couple years ago. Now they're the top two there, and then Melvin Gordon's there for depth. So if you see them add Dalvin Cook, I could potentially see Melvin Gordon being waived for sure.
Yeah, I do too. I think when you look at that, Dalvin Cook, I think would definitely be an upgrade over Melvin Gordon. When you look at that situation,
Yeah.
uh, I think though it'll be interesting to see which playoff team that will go get him. If Tampa Bay ends up making the playoffs, we posted on our website. I think that could be a viable option. But the Bucks to add some depth in their backfield with Rasheed White is adding Dalvin Cook, and we all know that he likes He's mentioned that he likes to play in the Florida area, and Tampa
Yeah.
Bay could be a good fit there.
Who's their rookie running back though?
Mm, I'll have to look that one
They have
up.
Rashad White, and then they have someone else. Is it
Yeah,
him?
Rashad White gets the majority of the carries, though. When you're
He might
looking at
he
that.
might be the rookie. I forget.
Yeah,
You think? Oh, okay. While we're talking about the Buccaneers, what do you think of Baker Mayfield playing there, and what do you think of an extension with the team?
I think Baker Mayfield will definitely get an extension with the team. He's really played well. He's got a really good shot at hitting 4,000 yards this year. That's very, very good. And one of the things that you want to talk about is what he has done with, especially with Mike Evans, right? Like he has put some numbers up for Mike Evans that Mike ain't seen in a while.
Yeah. And
So,
Mike Evans is 31 years old, I believe,
right.
30 or
And,
31,
and he's a free agent, and I know a
and
lot
he's
of
having a
people will be
career
interested in him.
season. Oh yeah, there's gonna be tons of teams interested in Mike Evans, still playing top level. And he'll be what 31 next season, 32 maybe. So he's still playing at a top level, but now that they've got the question of okay, Baker's playing solid, we're probably gonna extend him,
Hmm.
and he's taken us maybe to the playoffs. Do we try to re-sign Mike Evans? But I think remember earlier in this season, they kind of him and his agent, and I talked to his agent a little bit, but he was very scarce on information, of course. But he's like, I was like, do you think Mike Evans is going to get signed by that deadline y'all put out? And he goes, he just sends me back a little, shruggy. So like, I don't know. So they didn't reach an extension by that deadline that they set for the team. Is that all but saying he will be a free agent and he's not going to resign them with the team? You think he's done with the Bucks?
I think that hurt him there at the beginning, but now he's produced with a great year. And Baker Mayfield, as it seems, I know that he likes Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield could be a catalyst for him to possibly re-sign with the team because of his relationship with
Especially if
him.
they hit the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. So when you're looking at that, that's big. We always also want to throw this out there. We'll get to the other stuff in just a moment. But the Chargers, three coaches that's really jumped into the headlines this week for them is Jim Harbaugh, Eric Bieniemy, and Bill Belichick.
And which
So
one do you think is the best fit?
I think Bill Belichick is a great fit for the Chargers because look at what Tanner he did with that defense. His defense lost their best corner, they lost their best pass rusher, and he has like a top 10 defense. That's what the
But they're
Chargers
not
need,
playing like a
honestly.
top 10 defense.
Yeah, I can see that, but the key is Bill Belichick will need to make sure that he has a good offensive mind in there if they
Mm-hmm.
go that direction. Jim Harbaugh would probably be, if you could lure him out of Michigan, would be he played for the Chargers as a quarterback. He would be a slam dunk hire because
Yeah.
both of these coaches, Jim Harbaugh and Bill Belichick, they will want to be a part of choosing their GM.
Let
That'll
me.
be big.
I'm trying to look at something real quick.
Sure.
Let's see. Overall passing defense, the Chargers are ninth in the league. That's actually not bad. Rushing though, what are they? Well, they're nine as well. That can't be right. I thought
No,
their defense was not playing.
no, I don't think they are. I think if
I'd
I'm
have to
not
look into
mistaken,
this
the,
more.
the last time that I looked at their ranking as far as their defense, I want to say that they were in the bottom of giving up the most yards.
Yeah, I thought so
Right.
too. So that's what I'm confused about.
I'll
Um,
get you the number just a second, okay?
yeah, no
The
problem.
Chargers are ranked 28th out of 32
Yeah,
on
see,
yards allowed.
yeah, that's horrible. And on paper, they are stacked. And you think hiring a head coach like Harbaugh could just change that, and make that defense top tier in 1 year?
Well, Jim Harbaugh is going to be more of an offensive mind with them, so he
Yeah,
had to go and bring him a really good defensive coordinator with them, right? Like, people like Vic Fangio might be wanting to might jump ship for Jim Harbaugh, right? and he's the Miami's defensive coordinator, because they actually were together in San Francisco, and they were together at Stanford as well.
Mm.
So that could be something to watch if he gets hired there. But Bill Belichick has been all the noise of late with their. He will definitely need an offensive coordinator, and two big names, Tanner, that we've really not tweeted out, but they're getting a lot of interesting things here right now. Is Chip Kelly has been reportedly wanting to come back to the NFL as an offensive coordinator.
And what do you think of that?
That'll be interesting. I mean, he can do some good things with offense, but I'll tell you, somebody that's real close with him is Bill
Mhm.
Belichick.
Oh, really?
Yes, very close. He actually even adapted uh, their offensive prowess when it putting in even with Tom Brady some of their plays.
Where is Chip Kelly now?
He was the UCLA coach.
And I haven't kept up with him since he was at Oregon because I think he went to college after his Eagles job, right? He went to Oregon,
Yeah,
but I haven't kept up with
I
him.
want to say UCLA, but don't like quote me on it. I think that's where he was at. But
Okay.
another one is the ex Cardinal, um, the ex Cardinal head coach Cliff
Cliff
Kingsbury.
Kingsbury.
He's a name that's coming up. He was there at USC,
I've
right?
wondered about that.
Helping the number one pick, possibly, if
Yep.
somebody trades for Caleb Williams up or the Bears take him. When you're looking at that, I think he could be somebody. I remember too, Cliff Kingsbury uh, was with Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech.
Yes.
Yep. So will the Chiefs, decide to, hey, you know what, we want to bring you on as our OC. You know what I mean? That
And
I
move
mean, I'm
on
sure it would
from
make
who do they
Patrick
have now?
Mahomes
Matt
happy.
Nagy or someone?
Yeah, Matt Nagy. I'll tell you one of the funniest quotes I've ever seen from Adam Rank. Right? He said when the other day when the Chiefs lost on Christmas, right around Christmas, he said, "So I now know what the Bears would have looked like with Patrick Mahomes."
Possible.
And he's a big Bear fan, honestly,
Yeah.
right? Huge Bear fan. So, in other words, Matt Nagy's not the answer, right? The Chiefs probably need to make a a change there as far as their offensive coordinator. We know Big Red Andy Reid is probably the mastermind, but if Matt Nagy's calling the plays, maybe you don't see the crazy plays that they used to have.
No, and they've lost that
Anymore.
edge. They've lost the speed.
Yeah, and they need a receiver bad. Like it ain't all Matt Nagy either. When you think about this, man, they need a wide receiver one bad.
Well, I feel like they could have had one in Rasheed Rice, but they are very set on spreading the ball around. He always has his entire career. I mean, obviously, when Tyreek Hill was there, he was the wide receiver one, but like he still managed to spread the ball around so much. Um, but they passed so much and for so many yards, it was just like so many guys would get good yardage. Travis Kelsey has really stepped down his production this last half of the season.
Well, another one might this year that they could revisit could be DeAndre Hopkins because he just signed the 1 year deal with the Titans and
I
he'll
thought
be a
it was a
free
2 year
agent.
deal.
I'll have to relook at that, but I'm pretty sure that based on some tweets I've seen from DeAndre, that it seems like maybe he's could be looking for
Oh, yeah, I would too if I was him. I don't know why he signed in Tennessee in the first place.
yeah, but when you're looking at Kansas City, making those big throws, Mahomes down the field, D Hop is one of those players that could go get it
He
for him.
signed a 2 year contract with the Titans on July 24th.
Yeah, we'll have to see that. We'll have to see if the Titans is he going to roll with the Titans or is he going to be, somebody that's asked to move on, right?
Yeah.
Or released as a cap casualty or something. But it just seems to me that I mean he's got another 1,000 yards this year. Kudos with the quarterbacks that they had in Tennessee. Like I like Will Levis, don't get me wrong, really like Will Levis, but they've had like a quarterback carousel a little bit too there.
They have.
So I mean he's got really good things to say about your guy from Arkansas too, DeAndre Hopkins.
Traylon Burks.
Yes.
Yeah. I love Traylon Burks, but I just don't think he's in the right system. When he was drafted by the Titans, I was very disappointed. And he's had trouble. It seems he's had some issues staying on the field, just kind of staying healthy. So I'm really hoping he can turn the corner. But I'm hoping after his rookie contract's over, he can get out of Tennessee. It just with Will Levis, it may become more of a passing system. But I think as long as Mike Vrabel is head coach there, it's not going to be this elite passing team. It just isn't. Not with him there.
Yeah,
Um,
he likes running the ball, controlling the clock, letting his
yeah, they're not
defense
a
have
high scoring team, and they haven't
no,
been.
no. They're not like the 49ers or a team like that, like the Eagles, a team that's going to put up, a lot of points, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they're not going to do it. And I think, when we look after next week, something we'll be covering, me and you both, is Black Monday, right? Is we'll be covering it for the coaches that'll be gone. Arthur Smith, I'll tell you something I've been hearing. Arthur Smith, who was getting some like, okay vibes from the owner. I've been hearing reportedly that those okay vibes not might not be as secure as he thinks.
And I hope not. I don't think Arthur Smith is the answer in Atlanta. He's not going to take. I mean, he could. I mean, he's kept them competitive. They've been in games. They've upset a few teams here and there. And he may bring them to the playoffs eventually. But I don't think they're not going to be a Super Bowl contender. They're stout. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's kind of like the Titans, in my opinion. They're a pain in the butt for other teams, but they're not a contender, not a true Super Bowl. You know what I mean? They're just not a true Super Bowl contender, and I think that he's probably realizing that. Arthur
Yeah,
Blank.
we want to post some news, tell you about some news that just kind of that we reported yesterday that Lael Collins was going to sign with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
That happened today.
Well, he
Lael,
signed with their practice squad yesterday.
yeah,
I think they reached an agreement today on the active roster.
yes. So that the reason that they did that, I'm hearing Tanner, is the fact that there were other teams interested. So another
Mm.
team could have went and signed him off their practice squad, which wouldn't have done Dallas to any good in essence.
Yeah, true. And that's good. It's good negotiation on him and his agent, because yeah, that is true. If you're on a practice squad, you're eligible to be signed, offered contracts from other teams.
Yeah, remember, guys, Tanner will be down there at the Reese's Senior Bowl as part of the Expand Sports team, right? As well, and he'll be working down there with some of the draft prospects, and we just heard today that Bo Nix is going to be down there, so that's going to be a pretty big guy going to be
I
down
could
there.
I could try to snag an interview with him after one of the practices, but I reckon he's going to be a sought after target there. There's only 10 minutes after each practice interview.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. There are going to be a lot of players I feel that is going to go down there and really trying to show out and be, get their draft status. I mean, really, like a lot of people in the past has really done really well out there on the field, and they've jumped up their draft status. Then they get the combine and they go out and ball out there, and you see a lot of players that really move up to the draft that way.
Absolutely. And there's one this weekend. It's the Gridiron Showcase for a lot of these smaller school guys, but that's really where all the scouts go to. There's going to be a lot of teams there as well. That's in Dallas Fort Worth area. That's going to be this weekend, the 5th through the 7th. So Friday through Sunday, I believe. There's going to be a lot of guys I know attending that. Lamar Morgan's going to be there, the guy we interviewed last week.
Hmm.
So good for them. And there's going to be a lot of talent there as well. This is the opportunity for a lot of these draft prospects to boost their draft stock.
I
Now,
will
is
tell
there?
you, yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
will tell you that too, Tanner. Is like a lot of people focus on the first and second round. They turn to set off after the first and second round of the draft. But listen, look around. Puka Nauka, right, is getting ready to set their NFL rookie record for receiving. Kyron Williams, late round pick for
Yep.
the Rams, doing big things. You look around, look at Khalil Mack, come from a school in Buffalo, right? So there's a lot of good talent at some of these lower level schools that the scouts are looking to capitalize on with their teams.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing is like you can always find this talent in the later rounds of the draft. Like you wouldn't even be draft eligible if you weren't talented. And a lot of these scouts that write up reviews, I mean, they have a hard job. Don't get me wrong, but it's like sometimes don't look too much into the statistics. Just watch them on film and just see what you like in a player. And a lot of times you can just look at a guy and be like, yeah, he's got a fantastic skill set. I know it's going to translate to the NFL, and that's probably what the Rams saw in Puka Nakua and Kyron Williams.
Definitely, definitely, and something that we reported on yesterday, and of course, DJ Moore is not drafting for the Bears, but DJ Moore says he has a great relationship with Marvin Harrison Jr. And you can look at the information in our pinned tweet, but and Justin Fields does too, where he played at Ohio State. So Marvin Harrison Jr. getting some love from two people currently on the Bears right now.
Yeah. What do you think if Marvin Harrison was drafted by the Bears? I mean, obviously they need him. Um, but do you think he would have the opportunity to be great there
I do.
within that system?
I do think so. I do think so. Working with Justin Fields in the offseason, I think the Bears will be best to keep Justin Fields in my opinion. I know that we all have heard the thing. Jaden Daniels, great quarterback. Caleb Williams is a one-time prospect that you can't miss. But Justin Fields is played in the NFL, and he's had to move around a lot. He's had to learn a lot, and I think overall he's getting better. Year after year, he seems to
Mm-hmm.
be getting better and better. And they finally got him a real good wide receiver, and that wide receiver's got the most yards since Alshon Jeffrey. This year, and that's missing some games with Justin Fields. When Justin Fields wasn't playing, um, he he wasn't very good games from DJ Moore.
Right.
But I think at the end of this, though, they got to protect Justin Fields more. Give him a shot. If you're going to roll with Justin Fields, make sure you have an offensive line around him that can give him time to make his reads to throw to Harrison and DJ Moore.
And I think a lot of teams are realizing that nowadays. Um, Offenses are changing, but you just look at Joe Burrow. 2 season-ending injuries out of 3 years. So in the last 3 seasons, he's had 2 season-ending injuries due to being hit, sacked, and just shaken up. I mean, just battered and beaten, dude. And it's so important to have a good offensive line. We've seen it this season with Daniel Jones, the New
Mhm.
York Giants. These quarterbacks can't find room to play.
Well, one of the other prospects I would say that has a link to a team, I would really watch Jaden Daniels and the Raiders, right? If they have an opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
especially if Antonio Pierce is the coach. Antonio Pierce was with Jaden Daniels at Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a quarterback that Antonio Pierce might go after if he is the Raiders coach. Jaden Daniels, a really great talent for LSU. He ain't nobody's done some things like he has since Lamar Jackson in college. So he's going to be a highly touted prospect out there. Like at the end of the day, these scouts has got such a hard job. I'll be honest. Like when you just look
Yeah,
at
they
the
do.
Jets, Zach Wilson, for example, the Jets just staked a lot of stuff on Zach Wilson, and they're going to either have to trade him or release him here at the end of the season. Coming
Oh
up
yeah,
here.
they're moving on for sure.
Yeah. So the Jets will definitely, even with going to just moving back to the Jets real quick, even rolling with Aaron Rodgers, I would guarantee that the Jets go sign a very valuable backup. But after this season,
I
somebody
think
if
they've
Aaron
learned their
Rodgers goes
lesson.
down,
I think they've learned the lesson after that. I don't know how they felt confident rolling into the season with just Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson at quarterback. But I give Zach Wilson credit for all the adversity this season for sure. And I hope he does find success for sure. I really hope that for him.
Yeah, me too.
We
Me
just
too. I'm
got
happy to
we're
hear.
right at 35 minutes, so let's try to wrap it up. You got anything you want to add here before we end the episode?
No, I'm just excited to watch the playoffs. Really excited to watch the playoffs, and with everybody going there, especially the Saturday games, I'm going to have a lot of attention on with the Colts and Texans. Have a lot
Hmm.
of attention as well with the Steelers and the Ravens, and see kind of what happens there. But one of the things that I'm watching, Tanner,
Yeah.
is the all the we talked about a little bit earlier, my man, is the some of the quarterbacks that's starting this week. Carson Wentz, Jeff Driscoll, Blaine Gabbert, Sam Darnold. It'd just be interesting to see what those guys has got left.
I think it's going to be a fun week to watch for sure. And I'm super excited for the playoffs. It's going to be an exciting year. I don't know. I'm just ready for it. I'm ready to cover it, and I'm excited about 2024 in general. I think it's going to be a good year. Just got to keep working hard. Everyone out there listening, keep working hard. Never quit, basically, no matter what you're going through. Even that's just talking to NFL fans, your everyday people, anyone listening. Make sure it's a great year. This is the first episode of the New Year's. So here from the NFL Rumors podcast, we just want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in last season and this season. And like we said, over the offseason, we're going to be bringing you a lot of free agency news, interviews, and we're going to be keeping up for sure with the NFL. So make sure you guys drop a follow.
Definitely. We got a lot of big things coming up. Make sure you're following Tanner. If you're not, he's one of the best video guys out there. Like we've seen like Ari Moreau, we've seen like Adam Schefter, we've seen like I can't mention the accounts that went and got stuff from Tanner with his videos, with his video live game day. So make
Yeah,
sure that you're following him, and make sure that you're following us and turn on the notifications. We're going to have all kinds of rumors, all kinds of things going on with all the free agents coming up, shows with the free agents. So you want to make sure you got everything going for sure.
absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure you drop a follow to NFL Rumors, NFL Rumors Podcast, and myself here on X or Twitter, what used to be Twitter. And find all the shows, and this episode will be uploaded to YouTube. It'll be uploaded here to Twitter. It's going to be uploaded to every single podcast platform out there, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 7 of season 2 of the NFL Rumors Podcast. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.